Hey, it's Don. Welcome to Don't Worry, I'm Finite. This is the first in a series I'm going to call What Do You Do on the Road? I get a lot of questions about what I actually do with my time while I'm driving for hours and hours and I don't have any specific place to be. So I wanted to share some of the things I do on the road with you. The first thing I do a lot of is listening to podcasts, and it's just one of those things. I love podcasts, and I love the variety of podcasts. You can get just about any kind of topic or story or anything you want. And there's something about just driving on the road, especially when you have nowhere to be, that you can find a story and get lost in it. When you have the freedom of the highway and nothing but open road in front of you, you can really just sit back and enjoy and get lost in those stories. So let me share a couple of my favorite podcasts with you. I think the series that I recommend to just about anyone, if they ask me for a podcast recommendation, is a show called Scene on Radio. And they have a series called Seeing White, which is about white supremacy in America, its proliferation, its history, and its effect on this country and the people who live here. And it was a very, very powerful series, and it was extremely well done, well documented, and just very, very interesting and saddening to some degree. But I highly recommend that to just anyone at all. They did another series the following season called Men, which is about the Me Too movement and male supremacy, basically. And again, very, very well researched and very well done. So highly recommend Scene on Radio. I've been listening to a lot of a show called 5 to 4, which is a show about very close Supreme Court decisions that have kind of shaped this country, sometimes for the worse. They're very straightforward about everything. They're very opinionated. They do line up with a lot of my opinions, so it's not for everybody. But I really like the way that they talk about it and examine the law in a different way. Number 3 is Snap Judgment, which is a storytelling show on NPR hosted by Glenn Washington. He's great. The stories are very powerful and very, very well told. And it's kind of like when you want to just sit back and listen to a story with a little bit of a beat behind it, and it's just got good rhythm to it in general. Highly recommend that one if you just kind of want to listen to some good stories. There's definitely some social commentary in there as well, which I appreciate. Yeah, highly recommend Snap Judgment. Number 4, I've been listening to a lot of Mike Birbiglia's Working It Out since he started that podcast last year, when I kind of want to get away from the straight up social commentary and history kind of stuff. I listen to him. He interviews other comedians and some other celebrities and friends of his, and they work out comedy bits. It's hilarious. He's one of my favorite comedians, and he talks to some really great people. I recommend the episode with Abby Jacobson. That one was great. He's just, and also Ira Glass, who I love from This American Life. He's just really, really smart, and he is great at crafting stories. And so he goes into his process a little bit, and he, just works out little comedy things with other comedians. So you get the laughs, but you also get the process, which I love. So if you kind of just want to laugh and enjoy a little conversation, I recommend that one. Back on the social commentary, number 5, I'd recommend I Weigh by Jamila Jamil, and she has become one of my favorite people out there in the world doing work for mental health and women's rights and activism in general. She has a great podcast. She talks to people about their mental health, and so the idea of I Weigh was like, women get asked what they weigh. She knows, what do you weigh? So she started a social media campaign, which is I weigh this in my life. I weigh my ability to have experiences against my desire to have a family. I weigh my happiness over your approval of me for whatever reason. So that social media campaign turned into a podcast that some of the things she has said on there has just like clicked with me in ways that I've never thought about things. And being able to hear things from other people's perspectives is really just eye-opening in other ways. And I highly recommend her in general, but check out her podcast, I Weigh. Bonus number 6. There's a great podcast called Imitating Art with Don and Chuck. Yes, that's my podcast. Basically, we dissect movies and we look for life lessons that we can apply to our own lives. Basically, we just have fun talking about movies. We do get into some really serious topics and look for real lessons in movies that might not have the most obvious overtones of good lessons. But we've found some really interesting stuff in there, and we've talked to some good guests, and we've really found some movies that we might not have watched otherwise. So if you get a chance, check out our podcast, Imitating Art with Don and Chuck. I'm going to put the links to all these down below so you can find them. If you have any suggestions of podcasts that you'd recommend to me, I would love to hear about them because I have plenty of time to listen. So put them down below. I'll check them out and let you know what I think. Thanks for watching and subscribing. See you in the next one.